It doesn't seem all that long ago when a team of Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H were about to come to blows with each other, yet within a space of a week, the two men are certainly putting the emphasis into the term power trip. The Brothers of Destruction no longer hold the tag team titles, and Rikishi, who was possibly moments away from winning the WWF Championship at Judgment Day, now finds himself not only screwed out of the title by Triple H, but last week on Raw was also screwed out of the King of the Ring tournament by the Texas Rattlesnake. Stone Cold Steve Austin exclaimed "Might making right" and SmackDown before the six-man tag team main event. But there's nothing more dangerous than one man with nothing left to lose, let alone three. Texas Rattlesnake and the chairman come down to the ring to kick off Monday Night Raw. Following the conclusion to SmackDown's main event, Stone Cold Steve Austin feels the need to set the record straight with the fans of Mobile.
Now let me get this straight. I was there, beating up Rikishi in one corner with the referee interrupting. The referee getting in my business. I said before last week that The Undertaker and Kane have no right getting involved in my business, and that's something you just don't do. So why the hell does the referee have the nerve to ring the bell and disqualify me for doing my job?
Vince McMahon claps Stone Cold, but Jim Ross, noting that the WWF champion has conveniently forgot to mention the part where he gave the referee the Stone Cold Stunner.
I was in that ring, kicking Rikishi's ass, stomping a mud hole in him and walking it dry. And if the referee hadn't have got in my business, I would have hit the stunner on that fat ass and pinned him for the victory. I hope you sons of bitches know that it would have only been a matter of time before I got the victory for my team. But yet, I got disqualified?
Stone Cold looks at the chairman as if to ask, what the hell was that about? With Vince concurring.
Did the referee disqualify me because he's afraid of what I do to Rikishi? Is that it? Well, that's irrelevant. All the referee has to do is count the pin in the middle of the ring and raise my arm in victory. And that's all I gotta say about that.
Vince is about to take to the mic, but the classic WrestleMania theme hits. The CEO, Linda McMahon, is here. Taking to the mic, Linda says, "Now, Stone Cold, they say that things come in threes. And just like the end to SmackDown, Stone Cold, you find yourself having 3 contenders wanting a chance at the WWF Championship. And to be honest, they all deserve a shot. Now, maybe I could solve this championship conundrum in one fell swoop. You putting the title on the line against all 3 contenders, Rikishi, Kane, and The Undertaker, in a fatal 4-way tonight." The shock on Austin's face stands out, just a little. The same goes for the chairman too.
"Oh my God!"
screams Jim Ross. "But I see your reaction, Steve, and I see that a fatal 4-way just might be an inconvenience for you. So you know what? I'm not going to do that." The relief washes across Austin and Vince's faces, although Jim Ross isn't too pleased with Linda not pursuing that idea. Rolling hits, as Undertaker and Kane join Linda up the ramp. It doesn't seem like the American Badass is too happy with the CEO's decision.
"Now, Linda, it's nice to actually talk to a McMahon that has a bit of class."
Linda nods and acknowledges the compliment. Vince rolls his eyes in the ring.
"But even I have to question your decision making. You see, Kane and I deserve a shot at the WWF Championship. We deserve some payback against that bald son of a bitch. But if that also thinks he can take our tag team titles away, then it's only fair we take away what he treasures the most, the World Wrestling Federation Championship."
Linda agrees. "And you may get your chance, whether it's Stone Cold Steve Austin, or if it's another WWF champion."
Paul asks, "Or? Stone Cold is the champion. What's she talking about?"
"You see, I told you earlier about things coming in threes, but I wasn't talking about the championship contenders. I was talking about the championship itself. And this equation needs solving. First of all, we need to determine the WWF Championship match for King of the Ring. And I noticed that Chris Benoit is going to battle with Kurt Angle one more time tonight. And I think we can both agree, Vince, one of them deserves a shot at the WWF title." Vince shrugs his shoulders as Austin is staring at him. "Now I know Kurt Angle is in the King of the Ring tournament, and seeing how he was so quick to profess going through 3 matches last year, I'm sure he wouldn't begrudge another match this year if it was for the WWF Championship. So tonight, Chris Benoit will face Kurt Angle, and the winner will go on to face the WWF Champion at the King of the Ring." Austin wants acknowledgement.
"Hey, the champion has a name, and his name is Stone Cold Steve Austin."
Linda smiles. "Yes, Stone Cold, you are the champion. At this moment in time." There's an ominous feeling as Stone Cold and Vince look at each other in the ring, whilst Taker and Kane look at Linda. "So, that was my first announcement. My second announcement is, we've got the UK pay-per-view coming this Saturday in London, England, and it's only fair that Her Royal Highness deserves the most prestigious matches possible. And what could be more prestigious than the WWF Championship being defended in the United Kingdom? Austin is now arguing with Vince, no doubt bitter about having to defend the championship, or maybe having to get on a plane to go across the Atlantic to defend the championship. Linda asks why Stone Cold is so irate. Again, Stone Cold, you are the WWF champion at this moment in time. Because, in the interests of everybody involved, and in the interests of fairness, it's only fair that you defend your WWF championship tonight. Taker and Kane take a step closer towards Linda. Is this the announcement they've been waiting for? And Austin, you will defend that title once more against Rikishi. Taker throws his hands up in the air. Kane turns his head sideways, but Rikishi's music hits. Linda tells Taker and Kane that she does have plans with them, but would rather speak to them privately, whilst Rikishi tells Stone Cold that he's coming for the WWF Championship. Jim Ross notes, "Oh my! We're getting 2 rematches from Judgment Day on Raw tonight!" The King of the Ring qualifying matches continue when still the King of the Ring contender Chris Jericho, fresh off of retaining his status by defeating Christian on SmackDown, now finds himself in a tournament qualifying match against Viscera. Viscera is a heavy hitter, but Jericho uses Viscera's strength against him, eventually avoiding a shoulder block from the 1995 King of the Ring winner, tripping Viscera up and allowing Y2J to lock in the walls of Jericho and to advance to the quarterfinal. With each match taking place between now and the end of SmackDown, we'll know who will be facing whom in the quarterfinals. If Jericho thought this was a tall order, wait till he meets his opponent in the next round, because in the quarterfinals, Chris Jericho will go one-on-one with the 7'2", 500-pound Big Show. "Not so fast, not so fast," exclaims the Goodwill Ambassador, interrupting Jericho's celebration. "You see, I told you, Jericho, that I wasn't finished with you, and in order to make the Queen's Request the most royal of events, I'm going to have you in a match against the mystery opponent at Queen's Request, Chris. Oh, just one more thing, Sunshine. Should you happen to lose this match, then you will forfeit your King of the Ring spot to the winner." Jericho isn't impressed with again having to put his King of the Ring spot on the line. Neither is Jim Ross. "Will you leave the poor man alone?" he says through commentary. Mick Foley approaches the wooden door entrance to the APA office and is kind enough to knock on the door and waits to be invited in, even if he could have easily walked around the side. Farouk and Bradshaw are playing cards, and they acknowledge Foley. Foley asks for a beer, but APA suggests they play poker, to which the hardcore legend laughs. "If I had money, guys, I'm sure I wouldn't be here, but unfortunately, I have this little issue called medical bills." To which Farouk replies, "Oh, damn, get him a beer, man." Bradshaw laughs. "Take all the beer you need. What brings you here, Mick?" Foley wishes Bradshaw good luck in his King of the Ring qualifying match, as he takes on the 1999 King of the Ring winner, Billy Gunn, but wonders how Bradshaw got the gig, not Farouk. "Ha ha!" Bradshaw laughs. $50 says Farouk got drunk and told the commissioner his true feelings. They all laugh, but Foley's reasons also involve the commissioner, as he's not too impressed with how Regal has been handling the situation involving the women, to which Bradshaw picks up a fair few notes and says, "I'll give you all this right now if you go take out that she-beast." Foley gets up to leave, but not before saying, "I would do, Bradshaw, and I could do with the money, but more importantly, I'd like to stay alive." APA laugh as Farouk and Bradshaw say, "Damn," simultaneously. "Here Comes the Money" blares across the arena as the WCW owner dances at the entrance and then acknowledges the fans as he walks to the ring. A decision is to be made shortly to decide if Kurt Angle's status is with the WWF or if he's planning to leave for WCW. Kurt felt like Shane made a good argument for the Olympic gold medalist to join on SmackDown, but he also appreciates Vince's help in getting Angle to the World Wrestling Federation and how his career has flourished in such a short space of time. "Now, Kurt, you said last week that you would make your decision tonight, so the time has come. What's it going to be? Are you staying with the WWF Or are you going to take on a new challenge? A better challenge, with tougher competition in World Championship Wrestling? But it's Vince's music that hits before Kurt's. He comes sauntering down the ring and prods his finger into Shane's chest.
How dare you? How dare you, you ungrateful bastard! After everything I've done for you, raising you up, changing your diapers, helping you to ride your bike, bring you into my World Wrestling Federation, only for you to spit in my face. And now you have the gall to take the superstars that I helped made away from me.
Paul Heyman thinks we're about to witness WrestleMania 17 again. The Olympic gold medalist's music hits. The tension has somewhat subsided, as the two McMahons have their eyes focused on the American hero. Shane makes a last argument to Kurt.
You see, Kurt, this is why you want to be with WCW. You want to be with the fresh, new, hungry superstars just raring to go. And you won't have to put up with this.
Shane pointing at Vince.
No bitching, no moaning, just pure wrestling. Just like the Olympics. Mano a mano, the best against the best. And I guarantee you, Kurt, a WCW World Heavyweight Championship shot in your future.
Vince pushes Shane aside so he can plead his case.
Now, Kurt, you've been a great wrestler, a wonderful champion, an upstanding superstar within the World Wrestling Federation. And I've been nothing but kind to you, Kurt. But I know that you've been nothing but kind to me, too. But look at this.
Vince pointing at Shane.
My own son, backstabbing me right in front of you. What kind of person does that to another human being, let alone his own father?
Kurt seems to be shaking his head.
We've never had friction, Kurt, but we've never had any tension towards each other. We've always had a good bond. Well, just look at him. He turned on me, Kurt. And if he can turn on me, what makes you think he won't turn on you?
Kurt continues to shake his head. He grabs the mic.
I think this family situation of yours is pathetic. I don't care about this family dispute. All I care about is being the best wrestler in the world. And that's exactly what I am, and what I will be tonight. When I beat Benoit, go on to win the King of the Ring, and then the WWF Championship all in the same night. I will be the first Royal WWF Champion. And that is true. But Vince, where's your competition? You haven't sold me on competition, or challenges, or being the best. I came here to find competition, and Shane, I appreciate what you had to say. I look forward to challenging the best competition and beating the best competition.
Kurt sticks out a hand to shake Shane McMahon's hand. Both McMahons are shocked.
Oh no, this can't be!
Exclaims Heyman. Vince has his head in his hands as Shane holds up Kurt's hand as the two celebrate around the ring. When Kurt takes to the mic again.
Shane, I look forward to being in the best competition in WCW. By representing the WWF,
he picks up Shane McMahon to hit the angle slam, screaming "Woo!" and smiling at Vince, now returning the smile back. Heyman screams for delight as Angle and Vince leave the ring, with Shane reeling on the mat from the angle slam. Kurt Angle has officially stayed with the WWF. Vince McMahon might be in a brighter mood, but there's nobody who sounds more brighter than Paul Heyman right now, as Rob Van Dam comes down to the ring, making his WWF debut. Although there was time where RVD had been in Raw during the ECW invasion angle in 1997, the landscape has changed just a little bit since 4 years ago. Rob Van Dam's first opponent is fellow ECW alumnus Al Snow, and he's put in a hardcore match. But it's RVD gaining his first victory after a Van Daminator.
Good God, what on earth was that?
Asks Jim Ross, to which Paul Heyman replies,
That was the Van Daminator!
One would be forgiven for thinking if Paul Heyman was Rob Van Dam's father, as he's up in the announcer's table also doing RVD's celebration, with Rob acknowledging Paul at ringside.
Oh, sit down, you're making a fool of yourself,
says Jim Ross, but Paul Heyman obliges with Jim Ross's request. Not so much because Jim Ross told him to, but rather he's noticed the hardcore champion standing at the stage, looking on at RVD. It was acknowledged in SmackDown that Rhino may be a little bit jealous of the attention RVD is receiving, and Jim Ross also believes that this is the case. In the coffee room, Regal is with Vince, Triple H and Big Show discussing the upcoming pay-per-view on Saturday. They ask what Regal meant when he said, "And the best of British," last week. The Commissioner thinks it's only fair that the good folk of the United Kingdom are royally treated to stars from their home island, but also because it's a good chance to put some of the uncouth WWF superstars in their place. As they are talking, Rob Van Dam walks past and immediately looks at Triple H.
"Hey man, good to meet you. RVD."
No expression from any of the four, but RVD continues to look at Triple H when talking.
"Just wanted to say, man, big fan of your work."
As Triple H nods, Van Dam continues.
"I mean, when it comes to the ring, I've never seen anyone, especially anyone, spit water like you. I mean, ugh."
Rob Van Dam is imitating Triple H spit water.
"That's impressive stuff, man. See you around."
RVD walks off. Triple H isn't convinced that Rob Van Dam's comment was more of a complimentary nature rather than insulting. The Hollies come to the ring. Again, crashes in the ring, although Hardcore Holly is a little more of a spring in his step on this occasion, maybe following their tag team victory over X Factor. They beat the tag team champions of SmackDown, although it was a non-title match. They now have a chance to cement their number one contender spot by taking on Perry Saturn and Dean Malenko. X Factor are out to see the match, but it's hard to work out if X Pac's attempts at interference, coming up to the ring and throwing a right hand with the referee distracted by Albert, was aimed at Hardcore Holly or Perry Saturn. The referee turns to find Perry locking the rings of Saturn for the victory. Jim Ross wants to know where we go from here regarding the tag team titles, as Commissioner Regal said they will be defended at Queen's request. Jim Ross's question is about to be answered, as out comes the Goodwill Ambassador.
"You see, that just proves my point. This kind of interference just won't be called for, X-Pac. X-Factor, you've made this mess. You've caused a turmoil, sunshine, and that's exactly how the tag team title situation will be resolved. And it will feature all three of you tag teams in that ring, because at Queen's request, the titles will be defended in tag team turmoil. Oh, and I'll be bringing a few of my friends with me to take you on. Thank you, thank you." "Oh my," exclaims JR. "Tag team turmoil this Saturday."
The whole effing show is then catching up with his old ECW friends and Team Extreme, as he's talking with Bubba Ray, Devon, Spike, Raven and the Hardy Boys.
"Man, it's good to be here in the WWF. Good to see you guys too. Hardys, I've heard good things about you as a tag team. Looking forward to mixing it up one day. Bubba, Devon, how many of the WWF superstars have gone through a table? And Raven, I'm surprised to see you being sociable."
As RVD catches up with the group, Rhino is seen walking past and forcefully shoves into RVD as he carries on walking.
"Man, what's his problem?"
RVD asks. The 1999 King of the Ring winner meets one half of Acolyte Protection Agency when Billy Gunn takes on Bradshaw. One would think this match would benefit the One with his King of the Ring experience, but it's the One who must be feeling like hell when Bradshaw hits the clothesline from hell to knock out another King of the Ring winner from this year's tournament. As the brackets are shown, it's revealed that Bradshaw will be in the King of the Ring quarterfinals match, and his opponent will be his old rival in Edge.
Hey, congratulations guys,"
Eddie says to his friends, Malenko and Saturn.
"You got a chance to leave with the gold on Saturday against X Factor. But may I make a suggestion, Holmes?"
But before Latino Heat can go any further, X Factor confront the three. X-Pac tells Malenko and Saturn that they got lucky, but they won't be leaving with the gold at Queen's request, and to add insult to injury, Eddie Guerrero won't be leaving with the royalty at King of the Ring, as Latino Heat is scheduled to go one-on-one with Albert on SmackDown in one of the King of the Ring qualifying matches.
"You see, that's why I need to make a suggestion,"
says Latino Heat to Malenko and Saturn as they walk off. William Regal comes to the ring and says as we're just 6 days away from approaching Queen's request, The commissioner feels the need to have a bit of moral support to accompany him with the royal festivities for Saturday.
You see, a good commissioner meets a good lady, a regal lady, a most marvellous lady. And you know what? I think I may have found a good woman to accompany me to Queen's request. So please, good woman, come on down.
The camera focuses on the stage to reveal former women's champion and the woman that was part of the first ever WrestleMania, Leilani Kai. Jim Ross responds,
Wow, lucky him, I guess. You mean lucky her,
says Heyman in response. Regal, being so kind as to sit on the middle rope to let her in.
Now, Leilani, a pleasure to have you back here in the World Wrestling Federation, I'm sure. But I need someone to accompany me to the UK. Someone to help me with the event. You know, carry my bags, do the laundry and the cooking. Oh, come on, Jim Ross says. But we'll have a bit of downtime. I could show you the wonderful Buckingham Palace, Westminster Abbey, Houses of Parliament, London Eye.
Leilani is thinking about the offer when Jungle Emperor comes on the Tron and Archer Kong and Bull Nakano are coming down to the ring.
Oh, Regal says, I forgot to mention, you can accompany me to Queen's request. If you can beat Archer Kong right now, good luck, dear.
Jim Ross is far from happy with the setup, but Paul Heyman actually thinks Regal's made a clever move. Heyman thinking that Regal can do a lot better than Leilani Kai. There's no doubt Leilani is annoyed with the setup, but she doesn't look like one to back away from a fight. However, Leilani may have wished she had never come to Raw tonight to begin with. If the humiliation wasn't enough by the Goodwill Ambassador, then the huracan that follows in a couple of minutes' time must be. The spinning back fist adding insult to injury. Or rather in this case, adding injury to insult. Vince, Triple H, Stephanie and Big Show watch on from the monitor following Archer Kong's quick defeat of Leilani Kai.
God, am I glad I'm not Leilani Kai. Am I glad I'm not China either?
They all laugh at Vince.
Well, now that Kurt has made his allegiance known and is loyal to the WWF.
Vince pauses as the four turn round to see Rikishi. The Samoan tells Triple H that Triple H inserted himself into Rikishi's match at Judgment Day, and that as a result Rikishi will see him soon. But in the meantime, whilst the King of the Ring and Queen's Request pay-per-views are getting sorted, they can all watch the crowning of a new WWF champion tonight when all is said and done. The Undertaker and Kane come into shot and they tell Vince, Stephanie, Triple H and Big Show that if they thought Rikishi winning the championship was bad, and after having a conversation with Linda privately backstage, that the worst is yet to come. Kurt Angle is coming out to the ring as he gets ready for his final fight with the Rabid Wolverine. Now with the added incentive that whoever wins will be the number one contender for the WWF Championship at the King of the Ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, now I know this isn't the King of the Ring, and I know this isn't the Queen's Request, and let's face it, the last place you'd see anything resembling the Crown Jewels would be right here in Mobile, Alabama. But you guys are lucky, as tonight you get to watch the beginning of history. Not only do I beat Chris Benoit and then go on to the King of the Ring to take on the WWF Champion, but I also win the King of the Ring tournament. And if that wasn't enough, I will no doubt get my hands on the WCW Champion soon. You see, Shane, I hope what you said is correct. I hope you do have the best competition in WCW. But what makes you think that I need to be in WCW to kick WCW's ass? I mean, to be the greatest wrestler in the greatest wrestling company, not an overpaid, underworked has-been like the old WCW wrestlers. But you bring your company, Shane, because I'll kick all our asses. And if need be, I'll kick yours too. Then you'll have no choice than to award me the WCW Championship. So Mobile, get ready to witness history, as tonight begins my road to being your back-to-back two-time King of the Ring and soon-to-be WWF Champion and soon-to-be WCW Champion. Woo!
There's no shortage of confidence in the Olympic gold medalist, even if the task ahead is a big one, and it will mean wrestling in 3 matches at the pay-per-view. Kurt Angle is salivating at the thought of being a back-to-back two-time King of the Ring winner and the first man to win the King of the Ring and WWF Championship in the same night, says Paul Heyman. But he faces a momentous task in his fierce rival, the crippler Chris Benoit, and Benoit's coming out swinging, so much so that Angle is taking his time out of the ring to compose himself.
"Coward!"
explains Jim Ross.
"No, that's intelligence!"
exclaims Paul Heyman. Benoit is annoyed at Angle taking his time that he comes out of the ring to chase the Olympic gold medalist at ringside. Kurt gets back in the ring and is able to stomp on Benoit as Benoit slides under the bottom rope, giving the American hero the advantage. But Benoit is able to soon get up and he's tussling with his rival, eventually clasping his arms around Angle's waist from the back, hitting a German suplex, and then another, and then mustering the energy for a third. He's soon able to lock in a crossface, and Angle has been in the hold for what must seem like an eternity, but he's able to grab the bottom rope. Benoit isn't sure where to go from here, and tries to clothesline Angle, unfortunately taking out the referee who stood behind Angle as the Olympic gold medalist ducks. Angle returns by hitting the Angle slam, takes off the straps, then locks in the Angle lock. Again, Benoit has now been in the move for an eternity. Andy eventually taps, but the referee is still down, until Test runs down to the ring. Angle's trying to wake up the referee, but gets up and turns around to walk into a big boot. Shane is with Test as the two leave the ring through the crowd, Shane celebrating. The referee's coming round to when Benoit locks in the crossface again. And Angle, who must be in a serious amount of pain from Test's right foot to begin with, has no choice but to tap. Chris Benoit has made the Olympic gold medalist submit. Heyman is incensed with the interruption from Test and Shane, but Jim Ross is quick to remind Heyman of the interference at Judgment Day that led to Angle beating up Benoit in the 2 out of 3 falls match.
"Angle got what he deserved, whether you like it or not, Paul. You reap what you sow."
At least Kurt Angle's wrestling schedule is a little lighter now, whether he likes it or not. He may be going to the King of the Ring because of the tournament, but he won't be going to the King of the Ring to challenge for the WWF Triple H with Big Show see Shane and Test coming towards them.
"You proud of yourself after what you've done out there?"
asks the Intercontinental Champion.
"Oh yeah, never better," says Shane. "He's not going to be champion anytime soon, whether it's WWF or WCW. Come on, Test."
Triple H, Big Show and Stephanie aren't happy as Shane and Test head off. Close to the curtain is an irate Kurt Angle. He's demanding where Shane McMahon and Test are.
"Shane! Test! Where are you? I'm going to kick both of your asses now!"
When the Olympic gold medalist bumps into Edge and Christian.
"Hey, Kurt, we just saw what happened,"
Edge exclaims, with Christian adding,
"Yeah, this reeks of screwdosity."
Angle asks Edge and Christian where the WCW owner and Test went, but they're not sure.
"They'll take care of them both, and when I'm done with Shane, WCW will no longer have an owner."
Angle storms off. Jim Ross says he's going to try his best and compose himself after what just happened, because we've just had one Judgment Day rematch, and now it's time for the main event, which is also the rematch from the Judgment Day main event, when Stone Cold Steve Austin defends the WWF Championship against Rikishi. However, this is a normal one-on-one match, not a street fight, and Jim Ross worries that this may benefit Stone Cold Steve Austin, especially if he decides to get himself DQ'd by giving the referee the stunner, like he did in SmackDown. Furthermore, Triple H could be a factor by interfering in tonight's match. Austin would still be DQ'd, but he'd still be champion. Again, Austin struggles to get Rikishi off the ground to begin with. The two do brawl around ringside, but both are aware to get in the ring before the count of 10. Stone Cold is exchanging right hands with Rikishi in the same manner as he did on SmackDown, but when the referee decides to break up the right hands, Austin is right up in the referee's face. Jim Ross is begging through commentary not for Stone Cold to lose his composure, and thankfully he doesn't, so this match is still going on. Rikishi tries to hit the sit-down drop, but Austin is able to get up and hit the stunner, but Rikishi kicks out. Rikishi hits the Rikishi driver, but Austin kicks out. The Samoan drags Austin to hit the banzai drop, with again Stone Cold kicking out. Austin ducks a right hand by Rikishi to hit the Stone Cold stunner for the second time, and it's enough for the Rattlesnake to get the 3 count and retain the WWF Championship.
"Damn it! Damn it!"
Jim Ross screams, no doubt unhappy with Stone Cold retaining, but more so that Stone Cold has retained the title against Rikishi, this time the old-fashioned way, No cheating, no interruptions, no disqualifications. Stone Cold has won this in a fair contest. Vince McMahon comes to the ring and celebrates with Steve Austin, when the lights flicker and go out again, but this time they stay out. Followed by Hellfire and Brimstone erupting as out come The Undertaker and Kane. They head to the ring as Austin and Vince leave at the same time. The old WrestleMania theme hits with Linda McMahon coming to the ring again tonight. The Undertaker has a smile on his face looking at Austin. One would assume Kane must be smiling under that mask of his too. Linda says that there needs to be a WWF Championship match at Queen's request, because it's only right that the Queen gets the best. I want to remind you of something, Stone Cold. Something you said on SmackDown. How you said that you could beat The Undertaker and Kane, and that you could beat them at the same time, and that you could beat them for the WWF Championship, but just not on SmackDown?
It couldn't be,
exclaims Heyman. You see, well, I think that's a match that the WWF fans deserve to see. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Because at Queen's request, Stone Cold, you will defend the WWF Championship against both Kane and The Undertaker in a triple threat match.
Oh my God!
Screams JR. Heyman starts to wonder if it's The Undertaker and Kane been playing mind games with the flickering lights. Austin and Vince have their head in their hands at ringside near the entrance as The Undertaker drags the thumb across his neck whilst Kane lifts his arms up, with the turnbuckle exploding with fire as Raw ends. 88, oh my god, I think that's my best score. And it may have helped with having the best two match ratings on the card as well. Nice. Oh, this will be the next challenge now, because what I've done is with the Benoit Angle and Austin Rikishi storylines, I've now ended them. I know I'm not showing these at the bottom of the page because if I do show them, then I'm giving away what I plan to do at the pay-per-views. So this will be the next test now, organising the next storylines for King of the Ring and through Queen's Request as well. So hopefully I won't be lacking in storyline power when it comes to doing the next shows on SmackDown and even at Queen's Request. We'll wait and see. A couple of things to mention. One, I think my promos are getting so long and the recordings must be sick of my voice. So much so that I've decided to start and get a bit out of sync. So apologies for that. So just a SmackDown show before we travel across the Atlantic to London for Queen's Request, with 5 matches announced, although only one definite match. Austin defends the title in a triple threat match against Kane and The Undertaker, that is for sure. But who are the opponents for Aja Kong, Raven and Chris Jericho, as well as the mystery tag teams for Tag Team Turmoil on Saturday? We'll find out more on SmackDown. We'll also find out on SmackDown who will be in the King of the Ring quarterfinals when the last 2 remaining qualifying matches take place. Albert vs Eddie Guerrero and Gangrel vs Raven. We somewhat know the answer to the main event of King of the Ring for the WWF Championship. If Austin is able to survive the Brothers of Destruction, then he'll be defending the title in a couple of weeks against Chris Benoit. At this moment in time, card subject to change of course. As I said before, this will be a lot more of a stripped down pay-per-view, mainly because I don't think it will be worth it for most of the matches to show as match highlights. I will probably do a highlights for the main event, and there's likely one more match, maybe 2, depending on circumstances, but we'll see. But as ever, thank you for watching.